It's about time we rank some more of the plants featured in Plants vs. Zombies 2. If you haven't seen the first part, we went through 6 worlds in each of the new plants, with a bonus assortment of premiums afterwards. Today, we continue that mission, and because there are so many new ones to cover in Frostbite Caves and the Lost City, we'll do both of those and then a ton of premiums too. If you remember last time, I bragged about having this many plants in my name, and back then I really thought that was a lot. But I never stopped playing, and now I have this many plants! If you're not impressed by that, you should be. I'm not too far off from having everyone now. Anyways, continuing the almanac order leaves us with the Ghost Pepper, Sweet Potato, Sap-Fling, Hurrikale, Hot Potato, Pepper-pult, Chard Guard, Stunion, Rotobaga, Dandelion, Lava Guava, Red Stinger, A.K.E.E., Endurian, Toadstool, Stallia, Gold Leaf, and Strawburst. And the random list of premiums I chose include the Bean Sprout, Hot Date, Ultomato, Ail-mint, Nightcap, Meteor Flower, Olive Pit, Bombard-mint, Cran Jelly, Teleportato Mine, Explodo Vine, Explodo Nut, and Gumnut. Those last 4 plants just start a band together. What a cast of characters. Without further ado, let's find out which of these plants are the best potato and which ones are literally just a tomato. Picking up where we left off leaves us with the Ghost Pepper, who probably should have been included with the big wave beach plants, but that's okay. She gets to be the star of the show today. I've always loved how cute the Ghost Pepper is. It's another simple design that works really well, especially when you unleash her plant food power, and they make her look genuinely terrifying. As a ghost, she can't be eaten, and she deals constant damage to all the zombies in her row. She even explodes at the end, which is pretty heartbreaking, but at least deals a bit more damage on her way out. I think she's a really fun plant, both in terms of design and ability. I know there are stronger plants out there than the Ghost Pepper, but she's pretty freaking good, and her design is perfect. Let's start our list with an S tier. Wow, I made it through a whole plant without showing some cringy yet strangely attractive fan art of a plant? Don't worry guys, I'll give you a 2-for-1 deal on our favorite 2 ladies, Ghost Pepper and Sweet Potato. If you look back to the onion from the first game, zombies eat him and are repelled from that lane. Sweet Potato is so freaking attractive and smells so good that she brings all the boys to the yard. I feel like her plant food ability is pretty useless. I'd really only use it if I wanted to heal her. And speaking of, it's sad to see the onion cry, but it is straight up traumatizing to see her half eaten and in pain. I have nightmares about this image, but then I open that fan art of her again and the pain just washes away. She looks really weird to me. It's just a face smacked onto a sweet potato, and the face kinda sucks. I've never brought her in either, despite understanding there are fun strategies for her. She gets eaten pretty quick though, and in the end I'd rather just not have her. Try being sweeter next time. D tier. Another plant I never use is the Sap-Fling, but the difference here is that people actually like this one. There are a ton of plants in the game at this point you can use to slow down zombies, from poison effects to ice effects and now sap. This guy constantly flings sappy pine cones at the zombies, slowing them down on their way to your brains. The main benefit this plant has, in my opinion, is its ability to work with all other plants. Ice plants are great for slowing down zombies and damaging them at the same time, but you can't combine their attacks with the fire-based enemy in the process. In the Frostbite Caves especially, the Sap-Fling is a great addition to your roster. I really like his design too, he's really adorable. I think the main problem I have with him is that he deals 0 damage. With the amount of premium plants in this game now, it feels dumb to waste the slot by bringing in a non-damage dealer. Slowing down zombies is great, but there are too few moments that he seems helpful in. Seems like some people have him in S or A, and then everyone else leaves the poor guy to rot in a F tier. I don't think he's that bad. I just think he's pretty useless these days. D tier. The Hurrikale is our last premium plant to get through before starting the Frostbite Caves plants, but this one at least fits the icy theme. This one also deals 0 damage, but if I had to choose between the Sap-Fling and Hurrikale, I'm bringing in the Hurrikale every freaking time. No matter how many zombies are in a lane, no matter how strong or persistent they are, they will be pushed back by the Hurrikale, with a nice freezing slowdown effect as well. Again, if you're using fire-based plants, you lose the slowdown, but every single plant is in the back now. You basically get to restart the lane while keeping the zombies damage dealt. Looking for strategies with the Sweet Potato? Look no further, team her up with the Hurrikale and push 3 whole lanes back at once. All you need is a cherry bomb or something and you're set. I definitely don't think the Hurrikale is the most amazing plant to ever exist, but he's basically an upgraded Blover, and I like him a lot. Let's give him our first A tier of the night. Finally, back to ranking the new classic plants. Unfortunately, we're starting with one of the saddest excuses for a plant, the hot potato. By the way, hot potato is a girl, and if you freaking misgender her, I'm gonna freak! In the early stages of Frostbite Caves, hot potato is an amazing asset that really helps unfreeze your plants. And in every single other level of the game, the hot potato is absolutely useless. Of course it's unfair to rank the hot potato at all, that's not my problem. Tell it to the freaking judge. You know what? No! I'm here to rank every plant. And when fire plants can prevent and melt frozen plants just by existing, I have no issues with the hot potato going extinct. Also, the design is literally just a depressed warm potato. You call yourself hot? We'll show you a hot potato, look at this! Actually, Zam! That's a pretty freaking hot potato. Anyways, F tier. Thank you, Pepper-pult, an actual classic plant, only 6 plants into the tier list. You really saved the day. In the Frostbite Caves, Pepper-pult is your absolute best friend, keeping plants from freezing while dealing damage at the same time. I always thought he was pretty good. But then I found a Reddit page asking why the Pepper-pult sucks balls, and now I hate the Pepper-pult. Oh my god, I'm gonna get so much Reddit gold for saying that. I rarely talk about recharge times just because it's really not that exciting, but when you have to wait this long for a plant, it's pretty hard to recommend. What sucks is I think it's one of the coolest looking plants we've seen so far. I really like him. And his plant food ability is awesome. It's like the fiery version of the melon pulp. But it's too bad to put it higher than D tier. A defensive plant that actually fights back? You certainly piqued my interest. As most of you know, Bonk Choy is one of my favorites, and the Chard Guard kind of feels like the Bonk Choy and Walnut's freak of nature offspring. When zombies get close, he pushes them back and deals a bit of damage. Sadly, he loses a few leaves, and after the 3rd time he's a sad little lump on the floor that the zombies chew up and spit out. His plant food power is pretty great though, fully healing him and sending the zombies nearby flying. He's a cool little orange tree, and I know a lot of people really like the guy. Being able to toss gargantuars is seriously impressive. I think most people put the guy in A or S, but I'm putting him in B. Just not as good as those 2 tiers, I feel. You might have noticed I skipped over the fire pea shooter, and that was completely intentional. You'll see why in a future video, but that's a story for another time. Instead, we should talk about the grumpy little shithead whose bad breath can make a zombie go non-verbal. That's impressive. Onions are always stereotyped as stinky and gross in these games, and that's really uncool. Anyway, Stunion does a stinky breath and it's awesome. This guy can be used in any world, not just the Frostbite Caves, and that's definitely a bonus. Completely stopping zombies in their tracks is fairly helpful, and it hits all zombies in front of it, making it better than the iceberg lettuce. He's not free though. His plant food ability is worse, and let's not forget how stinky he is. Stinky Steve's plugging his nose around this guy. We have so many plants today that can't hurt zombies, but I'd say this is one of the better ones. B tier. Our last Frostbite Caves plant is the Rotobaga, our cute little root. This one is strangely cute, as long as you don't look at it for too long. It's pretty similar to Starfruit, except it cannot shoot forward or backward. The Rotobaga mostly shoots zombies in other lanes, which has benefits and disadvantages for sure. I become so used to placing plants in the lanes I want them to be used in, so it can be a little hard to get used to the Rotobaga. Unless a zombie is stuck in place, it doesn't actually shoot at them for very long. You really need a horde of Rotobagas to deal some damage. I do like this plant, but I have a hard time finding it useful in most cases. I certainly don't hate it, but sadly it'll be our first C tier today. We got a few more premiums to cover before making it to the Lost City, and first up is the Dandelion.
Oh, yummo! A dandelion. Must be the last one of the season.
After plants like the Snapdragon and Tiger Grass, I'm genuinely surprised we didn't get the head of a lion on a plant stem here. Wow, good job guys, you really subverted my— oh, they literally did that in PvZ Heroes? Okay, never mind, you lost my respect. Anyways, this one is not a lion head, just a normal ass dandelion that launches explosive seeds. I guess its ass isn't that normal, but you know what I mean. The seeds can go in multiple lanes, which is nice, but really makes it hard to focus on one zombie at a time. I feel like the dandelion just isn't strong enough to be considered very good. It deals damage, sure, but we've seen some insane premium plants, and this one doesn't even come close. Let's put this one in C tier too. I like the Lava Guava quite a bit more. It straight up kamikazes itself every time a zombie is near, erupting like a volcano. It leaves some molten goo behind and zombies take damage walking over it. The initial eruption is pretty dang strong, but the puddle he leaves behind isn't amazing. His plant food power cracks open the ground, and the zombies are damaged by the pit of hell below. In short, the Lava Guava can be a substitute for the squash or potato mine, maybe even the ghost pepper. The ghost pepper is better, but you could if you want it. His design is pretty basic, but his animations more than make up for it, I'd say. I'd like to Guava his lava, if you know what I mean. B tier. It's finally time to discover the Lost City. Most plants are either known for their defensive capabilities or their offensive ones, but some like the red stinger are much more complex. Well, not that complex, but more complex, more. Planting him in the back lets him be as strong as possible with a pretty basic defense. In the middle of the stage, he hides away a bit, dealing less damage but taking more hits. Lastly, in the front of the stage, he deals no damage but is completely buttoned up. Obviously, when I bring in the red stinger, I use him for defense only, like an intellectual. Said no one, ever! Having these forms is a really cool idea, and makes for a very interesting plant, but who the hell is using red stinger for his defense? He's pretty strong at full capacity, and it's honestly just annoying to have him be weaker after the back 3 lanes. I ranked the Peanut in F tier, and the red stinger is worse than the Peanut as soon as he tries being defensive. Because of this, there's no way I can rank this thing very high. It's a cool plant, it is, but it's kind of the definition of mediocre. C tier. Guys, I wrote red stinger, I hardly know her, into my script before immediately deleting it. I don't think I can be funny anymore. Please laugh. So am I supposed to say A.K.E.E. or A.K.E.E.? Well, let's educate ourselves, shall we? The plant it's based off is called an A.K.E.E., and the plant in game is an acronym for Autonomous Catapulting Ejectomatic Emitter. Yes, catapulting is spelled with a K. Yes, ejectomatic isn't a word. Look, I didn't make this plant. Some stupid plant nerd did it, not me. But yes, I will be saying A.K.E.E. for what it's worth. The Lost City has a huge emphasis on fighting zombies who cover their heads and fighting zombies who cover their bodies. While the A.K.E.E. sucks against parasol zombies, they own against the shovel zombies. With the added bonus of bouncing projectiles, you can damage multiple zombies at a time. He has the same plant food power as most catapult zombies, so nothing too special there. This is a strange one for me. I can't say I'm a fan. Let's go with C for this one too. I have to be honest, I'm pretty disappointed by this version of the Endurian, when PvZ Online had this one. That's incredible! Instead, we're stuck with this wannabe loser. It's a pretty simple idea though. Combine a walnut and a spikeweed and you've got yourself an Endurian. He slowly deals damage to the zombies eating him, so any way to kill the zombie before the zombie kills it is your priority. Dealing extra damage, slowing the zombie down, maybe giving him an awesome coat of armor with his plant food ability. Whatever it is, you should do it, because the Endurian isn't great at taking out zombies on its own. I must say, I do like the idea a lot, and I definitely prefer this guy over most nuts simply for the extra damage. If we got the green, Chad, cool looking Endurian, I'd say B. But we got this beta cuck instead. C tier. If you hate the Toadstool, I'd like to meet you outside, because we have a problem! I've always loved the Chomper, I just wish they could chew their food a bit faster. I've always loved mushrooms, but they're never frog-like. The Toadstool is making all of my dreams come true simultaneously. The Toadstool is basically an upgrade of the Chomper, and while it still chews pretty slow, it can grab zombies with its tongue and spits out some sun when it's finished. You can use the plant food power to gobble down a few zombies and earn some sun in the process, and that's just awesome. The best strategy for bringing him into the Lost City with the other new plants is to use the Endurian and Stallia to hold back zombies, allowing you to recharge your Toadstools ASAP. I just love them. I know they're still super slow, but keep in mind if they aren't dog dookie and they're awesome, I'm gonna put them in S. I just have to. As soon as we have a free plant, you can cross off C through F tier. It's hard to beat a plant that costs nothing to use. The Stunion was sort of an upgrade to the iceberg lettuce, but Stallia is the full-on sequel. It affects multiple zombies with no limits other than its radius of effect. Its plant food power also targets all zombies on screen, and it's purple? Just like William Afton, dude! Just like FNAF at Freddy's! William Afton! An easy way to tell if someone's made a poor PvZ2 tier list is to check their Stallia placement. So I really hope I don't freaking screw this up. I really don't think it can be S. Plants like the Hurrikale are so much more effective, but you also have to keep in mind it's free. I'm thinking A is a good spot on my tier list. I hope you all also think that. The Gold Leaf is another tough one to place. Gold Leaf is also female, and I don't tolerate misgendering her. The only other plant like Gold Leaf so far is the Tile Turnip, but they both function very differently. Placing 2 Tile Turnips down links the plant food ability of both plants involved, while the Gold Leaf basically makes any plant on its tile a sunflower. You can bring in Stallias for free and let them sit on gold tiles if you want to. Any plant can now generate sun, and that's pretty helpful. The problem is that most levels in the game don't last very long, so you don't need a crazy amount of sun, and you don't have much time to build up the sun you need. I've heard they're good in endless mode, so that's nice, but yeah, I can't say I'm much of a gold leaf guy. I'm gonna put it in D. Let me know if that's a bad take. The final plant released before the next world is the Strawburst, and I thought the jalapeno looked unhinged. The Strawburst has so much to talk about. When first planted, it's just a little nub, an unripe green little nub, and it can be launched whenever you're ready. Then there's the middle stage where it's a bit stronger, and the final one, fully insane and ready to slaughter. The last form deals a ton of damage, but of course, it takes a long time to charge. In my last video, I complained about QE Beast and its lackluster plant food power. Oh boy, am I happy to show you the fourth massive Strawburst brother who is born from the heavens, blinks once, and then explodes everywhere. Incredible. So far it's looking up for you, Strawburst. What's the catch? Oh, nothing. Just that it costs 400 sun? It's completely unreasonable to bring into any stage. It also explodes as soon as a zombie touches it, so say goodbye to your 400 sun baby. Things were looking so good for you, Strawburst. Now I have to put you in B. I hope you're happy. Finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, let's go balls to the walls and look at some of the insane premium plants they've added after the game's main story. Bean Sprout straight up made my tier list immediately outdated last time, but don't worry buddy, the Butta Boom and Ice Shroom are happily taking your spot this time around. Since the moment Bonk Choi was birthed, he's had copycats trying to take his place. And now, every time I look at a better version of him, I have to justify why he's an S and they're not. This one also copies QE Beast. It's almost freaking identical actually. It starts out passive, innocent, just defending the plants behind it. It gets more and more aggravated as it's eaten, and before you know it, Mr. Hyde is out and looking to kill. He looks very, very strange in monster form, but I do think the idea is fun. Literally the same as QE Beast, but whatever. Looks like shit, plays like shit, obligatory gym shit reference, and it's redundant? Obviously it isn't technically worthless, but let's be honest. This thing is worthless. F tier. The hot potato had no right being called hot, but you can't even deny how hot this date is. I knew I had to include him today as he's the upgrade to sweet potato. Basically, you get everything a sweet potato offers with a bonus jalapeno effect when he dies. Talk about exploding on the first date. I barely even touched the guy and he exploded all over me. Sure, he's not as strong as sweet potato, but you want him to die, so who cares? I think he's very fun and can be super effective, fixing pretty much all the problems I had with sweet potato. A tier. Oh my god, how did this tomato freak get in here? Great design guys, your imaginations really ran wild with this one. Newsflash, VeggieTales called and they want their tomato freak back. It uses the same freaking ripening mechanic as Sunburst, except every freaking phase costs more sun than the last, meaning a fully freaking upgraded Ultomato costs 900 sun, and 5 would cost 9,000 sun! Do you have that much sun? Cause I freaking don't! Oh great, it's so powerful, deals as much damage as a cherry bomb at full capacity, fine! You'll never change the fact that you're a tomato freak and that I hate you! F tier! Oh my god, I hate that tomato freak so much. Oh my god! I think I'll feel much better moving on right now, please. We're gonna get 2 mints out of the way today, and our first is the Ail-mint. All plants in the poison family are upgraded while this mint is active, but that's not all. She also poisons every zombie on screen when planted. That's right, a free plant that upgrades your poison plants that also poisons every zombie on screen. That's pretty incredible. And yeah, Ail-mint is a woman, get over it! Our next plant, Nightcap, is really the only plant on our list today that is in the poison family, so it's hard to go into details there, but I do think that's its main problem. I don't ever bring in plants from this family. I might bring in 1 or 2 on occasion, but not really. It doesn't really matter though, this mint is great on its own. A tier. Nightcap was a fun addition to see as we first saw Nightcap in Battle for Neighborville, who was also based on the PvZ Heroes Nightcap. This plant is invincible in almost every scenario, and I've never seen one die, so it's rare. They deal a ton of poison damage, but only at a close range. And unlike the Bean Sprout, this is a reason plant that is actually good. 300 sun is a lot, but you're not going to lose this thing. It's a great investment. Besides, I'm directly quoting the PvZ Wiki, so you know this is good. Although she costs a lot of sun, she'll definitely brighten your eyes and be worth the money. See? She'll brighten your eyes. Wait, she'll brighten your eyes? Maybe I should stop quoting the PvZ Wiki. Anyways, I can't lie. My eyes feel pretty freaking bright right now. S tier. I think you guys misspelled Meteor Shower. You should really look into an autocorrect next time. Lol. Right off the bat, this plant looks really cool and has some great animations. Meteors fall from the sky, leaving lava pools in its place. These are pretty strong, but they're random. Don't you just love RNG in a game like this? It's strong, so if it does hit, it'll probably kill. But if it doesn't hit, you've got yourself a problem. We've got a cool plant that simply isn't good enough to be placed in the top tiers. Let's say B. Then the Olive Pit. The perspective of the PvZ games has always been super weird. It's somehow top down and eye level at the same time. So you have zombies somehow walking across the top down view, and then all of a sudden there's a pit now, which is the same view as a zombie, but the pit squirts out olive juice, which let me just say is really gross and weird, but anyways, the olive juice follows the perspective of the tiles, making the game look so much more dumb and unpolished than ever before. That was my little rant, I guess. Now let's actually discuss this thing. These pits are like the mouth of a chomper, being able to swallow 3 whole zombies at a time. It can't be eaten either, but it also can't kill every zombie, so as soon as one walks over the pit, you're kinda screwed. It's great for instant killing a few zombies at a time, sure, but it's not good enough to justify it. The nasty olive juice slows down zombies, which is nice, but it is actually vile and makes me sick to my stomach. I'm not a fan, and the darkest olive pits of hell have opened to swallow you whole, so don't keep the devil waiting, old Fred. D tier. Our next mint is the Bombard-mint. This one creates 3 explosions at its place, taking out huge groups of zombies if needed. Additionally, some of my most used plants like the Teleportato Mine and Cherry Bomb are upgraded, dealing even more damage than before. That's insane! I feel like the design is really dumb and weird, but I have to say, this is one of my favorite mints of the bunch. S tier. The newest plant in my collection, recording this in early January of 2024 of course, is the Cran Jelly. I have not unlocked the tumbleweed yet, but I've heard they're very similar. Now, I have no idea if this is true or not, and it's kind of insane, but apparently, it deals damage on every single frame. So if you go to your settings and change the frame rate to be high, it does more damage. If that really is true, I still would refuse to believe it. Insane. I just find this thing really annoying. You place it on a lane and it jumps away. It comes back and rolls through, leaves some goo puddles, and you're done. I have a jalapeno that doesn't require me to change my frame rate settings, so what's the damn point, people? Look at this meme, that's my closing argument. B tier. I'm so sick of you guys misgendering these plants, I can't even get mad anymore. Just use she, her pronouns for the Teleportato Mine, or I will track you down and make sure you watch Shake Miller videos on repeat. I will! I am personally impartial to the Primal Potato Mine. I go nowhere without it. So when I heard this was better, I had to see it to believe it. She can be placed wherever you'd like, the 3 closest zombies will teleport to her, and she'll deal as big of an explosion as the Primal Potato Mine. Incredible! I'd recommend placing it near another horde of zombies so it can hit more than 3, which is great. I must say though, I always use my plant food on Primal Potato Mine as it triples with each use. There is no power for Teleportato, which personally makes me like her less. I'm gonna put Primal Potato Mine in S, so fine. Teleportato can go there too. Don't take a shot every time I say potato, by the way. I'm gonna rank the Explodo brothers back to back here, starting with the Vine. I also need to be angry about their capitalized O inconsistency, and we need to break down Popcat's gates and demand justice! These plants are really based on one another, and I probably should start with Explodo Nut, but I'm just too stubborn. As all vines do, this one can be placed on another plant. It actually explodes when you place it, which is a pretty nice bonus. Then once it's eaten, it explodes again, and if you give it plant food, it can do it another time. That's a lot of explosions. I have no idea what this thing is based on, but yet again, I really love how it works. And it's really good too. So far vines are 2 for 2 with S tiers. Ah yes, the chicken who laid the egg. Or the egg that hatched the chicken? I don't have time to get into this. The Explodo Nut was first, and I figured I should probably include it because this guy technically appears in the first game too. He wasn't in the almanac, so I didn't cover him, but PVC2 has finally made him part of the team. Anyways, he's a nut that goes boom when eaten. It's kind of a worse hot date if you think about it. My favorite thing to do is place an Explodo Vine with an Explodo Nut and use a plant food power on them for the ultimate Explodo experience. But yeah, this one just can't compare to the others. Sorry buddy, B tier. In creating this series, I truthfully only had one real goal, one purpose in life. There was one plant that trumps all other plants in every department. Design, skill, attractiveness, it's really the total package. And days before working on this video, my mission was a success. I own the ultimate plant. No, not you, Ultomato. God, you're such an ugly tomato freak. I need you guys to brace yourselves. Your life will not be the same after this. Let me introduce you all to the one and only Gumnut. I know, it's hard to see her through the tears streaming down your face, but focus. Weep, knowing that you will never look, act, or taste as good as Gumnut. Sob, understanding that you've unlocked so many plants that aren't her, and cry for the fact that Gumnut is not real and cannot be your passionate lover. Wait, Gumnuts are real. Well, maybe she can be your lover. Go find a Gumnut, I guess. Anyways, it's a burden we all must bear, but we can do it together. This is S tier. Now everyone find the guy with Gumnut as their profile pic in the comments and congratulate them on being Gumnut. Thank you. Plants vs. Zombies 2 never ceases to amaze me. It isn't always a good amazing, but nevertheless, I'm consistently surprised by these things. I know I have no idea what I'm talking about here, but that's what you guys are for. I learned a ton about the plants in the last part, and I especially appreciate all the tips on magnifying grass. Most commenters weren't rude about it or anything. They were genuinely helpful, and it really helped me out in the long run. I've been successfully beating bosses with the magnifying glass, and it's all thanks to you guys. So please, tell me what I got wrong, help me understand, and I will continue to read your comments and learn as much as I can from them. I hope you'll notice I'm trying to quit my habit of planting sunflowers in the back. I'm really freaking trying. It's a hard habit to break, but one day I might get there. So thank you. If you guys are down for part 3, it'd be pretty perfect, as we get the chance to cover the plants from Neon Mixtape Tour, Jurassic Marsh, and Modern Day, completing the world plants entirely. Some of my favorite plants are in those worlds too, so I'd love the chance to do it. Make sure to support this video in any way if you'd like to see it. One of the easiest ways is to become a member like all these wonderful people. Plus, you get a free plant Sona as a bonus. If that sounds fun to you, then please consider becoming a member of the channel today. Thank you Groth One Finger, Cobalt Chrome E, Patrick Bayerjan, Honomaki, Bright Streak, MD Switchy, Galguy, Dolphin Rider H2O, Dojo Master, Christoph Creations, Generic Toho Fan, Pez Dispenser, Eduardo Santiago, It's Me, Ali, Jasper TV, Keep, Daisy, and Omegon. You know, I'm kind of worried about Chupo. I haven't heard from him since he ate that plant. I don't think that was edible. Chupo, you okay? Oh, he's dead. He's just straight up dead, okay. Well, maybe he'll learn not to call people milk anymore. Jeez. Do you have that much sun? Cause I don't. Do you have that much sun? Cause I don't. And now every time I look at a better version of him, and now every time I take a. Anyways, I can't lie. My eyes feel pretty freaking bright right now. My eyes are so freaking bright. My eyes are so freaking bright right now. Holy moly, my eyes are so freaking bright.